morning, January 6, 2025. Just another day of venting and bullshit talking on my behalf. For those of you who are not or have not ever seen nor listened to this bullshit, hopefully someday you will. I think I'm about the only one that watches my own videos. Anywho, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How many have you had? And I'm sorry I have to ask you those questions, these questions. Just being as open and realistic as I possibly can. That's all. Just being honest. Because that's what I'm here for. To share my story with you. One in particular I'm going to start with, and perhaps I'll finish this non-valuable fucking video. June of 2024, last year, which was, I believe, like the worst fucking year of my life. And by choice. Nobody, people, God, life, ain't nobody, no nothing that had anything to do with anything here. It was just me. I put myself through all that shit. You know, I went digging for gold and I found shit, like they say. So I decided I'm going to go through, I'm going to go to get help. Again, I had help before. I had gone to detox a couple of times. I was very well treated. Luckily, I was able to afford it a little bit out of pocket money, and some insurance. So I was put in a very good position and in a very nice place. Not that I'm demeaning anyone who goes to a place that's not affordable. Unfortunately, those situations present themselves in your lifetime, and you have no choice but to go looking for that kind of help there. I was just fortunate enough to have been able to go, to that place. So last year was alone, no girlfriend, no wife, no nothing. Had just moved out of my nice house that I had just sold because of the divorce and all that good shit that I went through. But none of that had anything to do with me, my behavior. I was an alcoholic way before that anyways. If you ever met a drunk, you're looking at one. One's an addict, always an addict. And I admit to it. I own up to it. I went to detox because to go to rehab, they make you go to detox first. And I did. But like the weirdest fucking things kept happening to me every time I went to these places. I went there looking for help, and I found it. And, but when I was there, I didn't have the fucking urges. My blood pressure went back to normal. I ate good. I mean, needless to say, I'll be the kind to wake up in the fucking morning to drink like a fiend. Some mornings I'll get up and my body said enough is fucking enough. Put something in me, which meant food, and I didn't because I didn't feel like eating anything. But I was hungry, but I didn't feel like eating anything because anything I would eat was was disgusting to me. So I would try to throw up first thing in the fucking morning, and there was nothing coming out but vile shit. And I was just push myself and try to get all these toxins out of me that weren't coming out. Throwing up and gagging like a motherfuck, to the point that I've actually developed a fucking hernia over it, which I'm paying for it right now because it's painful as fuck. But anywho, we'll get into those details in some other story. I decided I'm going to this fucking rehab, and I'm safe fucking in a good way. So, it's up in the mountains. I go, get in my car, get packed up, get some of my affairs kind of handled and taken care of halfway there, and took off. Locked up my little place that I was renting, and took off. Nobody to tell, nothing, because I have no family. My kids are all grown, if you know my story. So I don't really speak too much to too many people. I don't have any friends. And it's by choice, because I've never been one of those friendly kind of guys that always like a crowd. I've had a clique here and there, you know. But they were all drinking buddies. Nobody that really ever meant to fuck. And so I went ahead and went to rehab. Detox. I spent the whole week there. Nice place again. Up in the mountains. But driving up there, this fucking anxiety and panic attacks that I had developed previous to this, or I had all along that I never knew I did, kicked in, and I couldn't fucking drive. I'm climbing up this fucking mountains up in the hills on I-40, and I put my four-ways on my car like a big fucking truck pulling a heavy load that wasn't able to climb up these hills, to let everyone behind him know that it was a heavy load and he was gonna go slow. That was me. I was trembling, I was shaking, I was scared. I just felt like turning right the fuck back around, but I was already an hour and a half deep into this drive. I ain't no pussy, I ain't gonna turn back. So I left those fucking thoughts right behind the bottom of that fucking hill. Kept on rolling nice and slow, shaking like a motherfucker, and made it 2.5 hours later. Once I got there, of course, everybody was waiting on me. You know, they do the search on your shit and check your hat, your pants, your pockets, and empty out this, take this off, take these off, take socks off, pull your pants down. Blah, 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 like you fucking going to jail, which I really don't appreciate that kind of shit. But anyways, it's part of the deal. Once again, detox, no problem. Spent a beautiful fucking week at a nice resort. And I call it a resort because that's what the fuck that was. There was no pool or no tennis courts or none of that shit, but beautiful living room. Nice TV room. I had my own fucking room to myself. Good air conditioning. Premises were nice. Food was awesome. Food 24/7 available. Refrigerator wide open. You can eat snacks at any fucking time. Beautiful. Well, I was there a week. Left for rehab. They had to come get my car to bring my car over to the rehab place, because I had driven myself up there. Once again, I repeat myself. So I go to rehab. That's a whole different atmosphere. Meaning not that it was any less of a beautiful place. It was just different. There were other things to do in rehab. Rehabilitation and detoxification is two different things. So I found myself in a cabin, sharing a room with a very nice guy, very good kid, young kid, man, 23, 24 years old the most. A little bit of an addiction problem. I'm not sure what kind it was. I didn't really care to discuss what it was, but whatever it was fucking him up. But he was okay though. He was a pretty popular kid, really nice, sweet, very well-mannered, educated, smart. I had a crew of people in that cabin. It was like 4 of us, 4 groups of 2 per room. So there was 4 bedrooms, 8 people. We shared a kitchen, and I didn't care to share the bathroom with my roomie, but it was okay. You know, he was clean. I was there, supposed to be there a month, but I lasted a week. Needless to say, I spent $2,000 out of pocket for that one, plus insurance. Now you're asking yourself, how the fuck did he have insurance? He had a job. I had a job. I just knew how to keep it. I knew how to keep my fucking secret. Anyway, so I was supposed to be there 30 days. Beautiful place. Medication every morning, in the afternoon, at night. They came pick you up in a van. I didn't like that shit. Everybody packed into a fucking van to go to this spot where you take classes that I couldn't figure out what they were for. I was learning society and the behavior of people and things that I really couldn't pay any attention to because I have a little bit of a deficit disorder. But I didn't last there but a week. I quit. I gave it up. They tried every which way they could to make me stay, and I didn't. I just left, man. I had to leave. I mean, they tried all my counselors, the guy that owned the joint. Everybody came to talk to me, try to get me to stay, and I just couldn't. And it wasn't because I wanted to drink. I'll be honest with you. There was no alcohol around me, so, you know, we were drug tested and piss tested every morning, pretty much. And I left on a Friday afternoon. Of course, knowing that I was 2.5 hours away and the cops up that way, they were pretty strict. Last thing I needed was to get a DUI. But I wanted, all of a sudden, now I have freedom again. I wanted a drink. As soon as I got to the city, I fucking went ahead and bought 8 fucking 40s. Pounded that shit for like 6 hours, 6.5 hours. Because I made it home like about 6:30 in the afternoon. So it was like 1 in the morning. I was drunk out my skull, man. But I guess that's what brought me happiness. I don't fucking recommend that. If you have it in you to go to rehab, give it a shot, man. Try it. Don't be a pussy like me. And it wasn't me being a pussy, it was just me not wanting to be in one place, not able to do anything on my own. I had to be told what to do. And I think that's what was bugging me. But it wasn't a bad place because they didn't treat me wrong. Yet again, once again, I tell you, that's just not what I was looking for, not the kind of help I needed. I needed a different kind of help. And with that being said, I'm gonna say goodbye this time around and I'll finish this story. Maybe tomorrow. Love you, man. Stay alive. One day at a time. People love you.